So those helicopters are done and the deck vehicles are done. However, per my references, it has forklifts. So this kit has forklifts in it, these small forklifts. So I'm going to build, I don't know, maybe 3 of these. And then that should do it for the deck vehicles and service vehicles. And just like all the rest of the vehicles, these were, again, very tedious, especially this PE. As I bent it, a couple of them fell apart, so I had to start over, but in the end, I'll be happy if I get 3 out of 4 of these. I think that one is just really bad. I'll try to bend it back, but at least I got 3 of them, so there's all the vehicles there. So next up is to paint the crew, and I have this Tom's Model Works set, as well as this Gold Medal Models set. On modern carriers, flight deck crewmen wear color-coded long-sleeve shirts to designate their functions. Trousers are usually olive, green, or dark blue. The following shirt colors are used. So we've got white for the aircraft troubleshooter, yellow for aircraft director, purple for refuelers, blue for handlers, green for mechanics, and red for ordnance men, and brown for a plane captain or a crew chief. And I've cleaned these up with some alcohol, rubbed them down, make sure that they'll take the paint, and I'm going to paint them on the frets. So that's the khaki on the bottom, and then the appropriate color on the top. I will let those dry and leave those, set those aside until I go to place everything. All right, so next is those A6 walkways. So there's those decals, and you can see here some of them have it, some of them don't. So I cut 5 of these. I think I'll put those 5 on 5 of those and leave the other ones undone. I don't know that I'm going to even use these. There we go. So 5 with and 4 without. Right, so next is adding the deck and elevator decals. And the elevators are these. Going to my references, you can see on that back one, it's the 13 there. And then on these forward ones, you can see that 7 and definitely a 5 in the center one. And then in the forward one, number 1 is the number 1, as you can see there. So there's the 1, the 7 and the 5, the 13, and then I decided to go with this P over here. And then I touched each with a little salva set, so I'll let those nestle down. Next decals are for the island, and you can see here 66 to 79. This number 58 goes on the forward side. So okay, the next thing I want to try to scratch build is, scratch build the antenna on the forward port side. And what I'm talking about is this piece here, and you can see it there from my GRS reference. And I went through all my spare PE. That piece right there, I think it's close to that shape on the outside, so kind of like this. And then use some of this other spare PE to make that platform, so to speak, that sticks out there. And, if it looks good, I'll put it on. If it doesn't, I'll leave it off. But I gotta at least give it a try. Is it an exact replica? No, but I think it came out okay. All right, there we go. Attach that antenna or whatever it is, and yeah, I think that came out okay. Paint the F4 noses per references, black or radome tan. I had originally painted all these noses white, and if you saw my F4 fix video, realized that was wrong, so I had to go back and do them radome tan. But in my review of my references, anytime I saw a black nose, I rewound and tried to figure out which one it was. So for the VF92s, I only saw one, and that was the 202-30-37 plane. Correction there, I went back and I also found the 203 plane with a black nose, so I'll do that one as well. The 3036 has a black nose. Also saw the 3041 and the 3064. So that's these four here. And then went back and did all these noses in the radome tan. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all these wings and fold them for any of the ones that aren't folded. And then I'm also going to cut and fold the wings on the Vigilantes, as I'll have at least two of those sitting on the deck next to the island. I refreshed my list, and next I'm going to place the blast shields 3 down and then the port side up behind the F4. And what that means is, again, I'm using this as my reference. I'm going to place all the planes as they appear on this ship, and you can see that F4 there on the side, and the blast shield is up behind it. Back when I made the ship, I made these because the kit pieces just didn't look good and didn't fit right. So that's just sheet styrene. And so I fitted each of those, to these 3. And then for this one here, so that's here. And what I did is use this spare PE and put those on there as the supports for that. So I'll let that dry. I've been starting on the weathering, and I've got these references, a few of them, and you can see basically right here is where the planes come out and land, and then along these lines is where they take off. So I've tried to darken this area here. I'll show you a reference here over the 65, but those lines over the 65 as well. And basically all I did was use these chalks. I've got a couple more over here, and then just flatten it out with these flattened brushes. So I don't want to overdo it, but I just want to kind of dirty it up. I've got all those blast doors in there. Well, not all of them, those 3. And here's that 4th one with the supports on there. All right, and then I just touched those supports with some white, and then touched a little glue to the bottom and popped that in there. Okay, so this has the dull coat on it now, and that island is just resting on there. I still have more work to do on that. I ordered some Easy Line, white Easy Line, and I'm going to replace this rigging with the white Easy Line, but that's not coming for a few more days. And then I'm going to leave those elevators off until I'm done weathering the sides. And I've got my various Panaline wash, as well as this Vallejo rust-colored wash. So I have this all kind of set up and rigged so that this is facing me, and then I have my references. I'll basically just refer to these, and you can see there basically what's going on is just some dark spots and rust spots going down the sides, and there's kind of a big one there. I'm just going to work my way along here and there and draw that down. And then I actually went out and watched a few videos about this, and below that water line there's like salt markings from the salt water, but those go, as opposed to going up and down on the sides, those go more horizontally, so I'll kind of do that as well. Okay, there we go. That's one side done. And what I did was first use the black Panaline wash, in among the details, and then came back with the rust, and then kind of cleaned that up with a Q-tip and a little bit of mineral spirits. And then I took the gray and the dark gray with the sponge and did the bottom, and then again kind of came back with the mineral spirits and cleaned it up. I think, kind of a less is more type of thing here. So, and I did do the black Panaline wash all along the edge here just to kind of bring out the details. Here's the other side. So I think I'm going to set that back on its base, and then go around the edges on the top as well. I think that does it. So here's this side, around the back, See the rust. And then up on the top, it doesn't show up as well on camera, but I darkened this area some more with the panel line wash. All right, I put those elevators on and again went back and tried to dirty this up some more. And now I think I have it kind of where I want it. Same thing on that 65. I think I've got that kind of where I want it now. Now I'm waiting on the white easy line to do the rigging on the island. Maybe in the meantime I'll start placing the planes, but that's pretty much it for the ship. So, and I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. All right, so this stuff is all just dry fit right now because I'm trying to get my spacing figured out. And again, I'm trying to do it pretty much as close to this as possible. And I actually, looked at that through my magnifying glass and then kind of made this map to map everything out. And then, of course, referring to my references for spacing and so forth. This is pretty much the way I think I will have things. And what I'm going to do is take a couple of pictures of this down. Now you can see the A6s tilt back. I have to get those to, sit forward on their front landing gear, as well as the E2As, same thing. But I wanted to kind of make sure I have all my spacing and everything lined up, similar to that. And I think perhaps those can even go a little bit closer. And then I also placed a lot of those vehicles per, my references, just scrolling around through the references and seeing where they're at. And then I also have, these extras. And, you'll recall I opened these back to elevator doors, so the rest of this stuff will get put down there. And I'll probably cut those wings and fold those as well. And then those, maybe I'll put one of those forklifts on the deck and then, one or two down below. And of course, I still have all that crew to cut out and place, probably next to the vehicles and here and there, again, per references. I've still got quite a bit of work left to do, but I'm very happy with the way this is coming out. Like I said, I want to wait until I get that white easy line and replace that rigging with white line. My research said, those should be white. This was that Walters goo, I guess, and it's not correct, so I'm going to fix that. And so I left that off there so I could sticky tack it down and work with it. Like I said, what I'll do is take a few pictures of this and then work from those photos. But this is pretty much how it's going to look when it's done. I think this is a good stopping point, and then my next video will hopefully be the final reveal. So, hope you found that interesting, and as always, thanks for watching, and happy modeling.